books along the road, just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
It rains. Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1962 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
So, good evening, back again, and tonight, John Sinclair TV, back again, of course, and I've got Tony and me as my co-host, and Brad's going to come on very soon. Big up to you. Good evening to you guys.
Good evening, John. You all right? Had a good day?
Yeah, it's been out sort of thing. I could have gone for the Shirley ass sort of thing. I've done my deliveries and that, and I was told to go to another place to drop the van off and then go to someone else's van. I would have been straight about 4:45, but hopefully if I've been around tomorrow, I'd probably go an early finish sort of thing, so that'd be cool. So how's things you guys? Having a good day? Have a good?
Yeah, not bad. I've been on a day's holiday today off work, so I've been across to Milton Keynes, done a bit of shopping and things like that, and yeah. And obviously they're getting ready for the Women's Euros over there as well, because all the signs are up for parking for Stadium MK, because the semi-final on Wednesday is France and Germany, innit?
Absolutely, man. Tough, isn't it? But there you go. As long as you had a good day, everyone's happy and cool. There you go. Guys, if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button as well. And also, if you like to super chat, then just give what the channel's worth. And if you'd like to become a member, do give most of the last one to become a member, then just hit that join button. It's going to be 99p every month. So I've got some comments flying through. We're going to talk about Julian Draxler. We're going to talk about Elliot Anderson. We're going to talk about the breaking news in just a few minutes. I'm just going to read the comments first of all. And big up to Mark Keynes. Mark, do hit the subscribe button, please, mate. It's your first time. Hope Newcastle gets Julian Draxler. It'll be an excellent signing. If you can pull this one off, he's on 59k a week. I'm going to talk to him about my opinions on him. Even if he won't a stint by Leon, basically said any players off for grabs and come and get him. About Paqueta in particular. Mark again, hope Newcastle is Julian. Yeah, read that, mate. Big up to Rexy. No, he's not an Evertonian. Big up to Kevin, even the Gaff and the wife. And big up to Gordon. It's just done for you tonight, mate. Sorry, Gordon. Big up to Kate, or Katie T. I've got to call her from now on. And big up to you, Kate. And Jonathan, hope you're okay. And I hope you're looking forward to the new season, Kate. And big up to you. And all the women Commonwealth games, bands in commentary. I'll be happy with Julian Draxler. And the rest is laughing because I keep calling Evertonian. Right, I've got some breaking news, by the way. And just looked on the NUFC website. And Emil Krafth has signed a new 1-year extension to his contract. So to be extended until 2024. He used to play for Lonia and Helsingborg, All-Stars, and also the French call is it Aegeans, or whatever it is. I can't pronounce it, by the way. But Emil Krafth told NFC TV, I'm very, very happy to extend my contract here. Me and my family love to live here, and we continue with the journey we started with the club. I'm really looking forward to the future at the club. Eddie Howe said, I'm very pleased Emil is sending a stay with us. He's made an excellent contribution to the team last season, and he continues to add value strength to us. Tony, Emil Krafth and this new deal. What's your thoughts, mate?
I think it's a sensible thing because he did well last season under Eddie Howe. He had a couple of bad starts, but after that he seemed to find his footing. When he filled in for Trippier in particular, and don't forget this guy, we can easily put him into centre back as well. So he's a bit of versatility about him. But yeah, he did well when he was called upon last year under Eddie Howe. The last 2 years he's looked absolutely awful. But remember, a lot of players looked absolutely awful under Bruce. So to be fair, he's probably been bruised, you see. So he's got a totally different way of playing now. Training methods are totally different. It's not like where Bruce used to throw a ball in and say, "Oh, have a kick about, lads," because he couldn't be bothered to train them. Where Eddie Howe actually spends like 12 hours a day at the training ground. So And even Xavi himself has said players are physically knackered after every training session. So that's good to hear. But yeah, I think it's sensible. Give him it. Why not? He's a squad player at the end of the day, and it's a sensible option. Or else if you lost him now, you'd have to go and replace him with somebody else. So yeah, I think it's a sensible option. So yeah, maybe we might get rid of Lascelles, then that may be the reason why he signed a new deal. Maybe someone wants Lascelles, and that's the best way to get rid of him. Hopefully.
I knew you'd say that. Big up. And yeah, Mason, give us your breakdown on the so-called Swedish Cafu.
Yeah, I'm happy. Obviously, the back end of last season, the turnaround in his form, he just played outstanding. Man, Trippier was out injured, and kept Manquillo out the side, and yeah, I'm buzzing for him because he deserves it.
Yeah, my opinion is, I wasn't a fan of him. When he signed him up, sort of thing, I thought I just took a step back. Everyone's calling Swedish Cafu. Everyone says he's going to be the best right back in the worldwide world. And I just sat back. I watched him serving. I was just bang on verge. But look, he's turned his career around at Newcastle United. Listen, I'm pleased for him, and let's hope that he keeps it going, because Emil Krafth can play football. He can defend properly when he needs to defend properly, but he has improved. And I'm pleased for Emil Krafth. So big up to Emil. And glad he's got his 1-year contract extension. And good luck to him. Let's hope that he steps it up next season. And I'm pretty sure he will. And I've got Tom as well. Good stuff for Krafth. It's proven sure what happens when you have a good manager in court, and a massive damage poor ones can cause. Davies in the house as well. Krafth has turned his game around. Is Krafth is the snooker player Krafty, Ken Doherty. Wow, nice one. Krafth has improved like a few other players at the club. One extension, sensible contract, not a long-term contract. And big up to Mark again. Well, right, I'll go to talk on a permanent deal. We should look at another striker. Newcastle United has been linked with Jack Harrison for Leeds or Harvey Barnes for Leicester. We spoke about it yesterday on Harvey Barnes and me and Grace yesterday. And in my opinion, Harvey Barnes, I think it would be a good player for Newcastle United. However, we're not going to pay 50 million quid for the guy. There's absolutely no way. And all this so-called Newcastle tax, right, Tony, I'm just kind of getting sick of it now. Do you know what I mean? Why? I think, in my opinion, I don't think they want to sell any of their top players to Newcastle because we could cause damage in years to come. This is why they ask for extra numbers at the end of it, like extra 10 million, extra 20 million. What's your take on it, mate?
Yeah, it's because we got the money and they're expecting us to pay it, a bit like Man City used to do. But the thing is, we're being a bit more savvy. We're saying, no, we're not being ripped off. They might have said we value him at 35 million, but not at 50 million. But I saw a thing from Ben Jacobs, and he said Leicester won't sell Harvey Barnes. He says, I know they've got to stay within FFP, but he says there's no way they're selling Harvey Barnes, apparently, according to Ben Jacobs anyway. But he's not a bad player. I'll give him that. He's a good player. When he done that, he had that loan at West Brom, and he played absolutely brilliant, and then went back to Leicester. And he's been terrific for Leicester. But he's not worth £50 million, that's for sure. And whatever our valuation of him is, it's well short of what Leicester want. But unfortunately, you can only evaluate a player what you think his true worth actually is, and that's all we're doing. And I'm glad we're standing firm on teams like this. We did it with Botman, and we got him in because Lille blinked first, because they knew we need the money, so we'll just have to take it now and go. So we're not stupid. We're not going to be mucked off. So all these people saying, we're not signing people. It's not because we're not signing players. It's because we're not paying the monies that the clubs are holding us to ransom over, and we won't be held to ransom.
I have to agree there, because at the end of the day, Roger's coming on some mods very soon. And the thing is, right, you're absolutely right, 110%. I've always said that. You know what I mean? We're not going to get fleeced. We're not going to get ripped off. You know what I mean? That's how much you're going to pay. If you don't want to take it, off you go. Simple as that. And at the end of the day, right, we're not going to get mugged. We're not going to be taken for granted, or mugs as well. I think these owners are savvy people, Mason. And when I mean savvy, right, they're pretty much clued on.
Definitely. That's when like obviously Harvey Barnes 50 million. They don't want to pay it because it's too much for them. Like for now, but like in further years, they'll probably want to pay it. It's too soon for them to pay that much money just because it's the first summer, and I want just to spend, like, obviously we spend 40 million on Bruno. How much for Botman? But they're only just going with 40 million because they think that's the right price for players that they want to pay for.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. And the sooner they realise that we're not going to take anything from Mugs, they're going to expect us even more. So Leicester, Leeds, put respect in the owner's name and don't upset them, okay? Otherwise, we never do business with you ever again. Kevin said you had no respect Danny Mills. We're going to talk about Danny Mills later on, right? We're definitely going to talk about him. Please don't ignore us for that. Big up to Paul, by the way. Oh, Mason's gone. Don't know where he's gone to. And guess on the chat, Paul, I hope you're having a good day, mate. Thanks for the message today. Leicester don't want to sell Barnes for 50 mil is to put everyone off, not this NUFC tax nonsense. That's his opinion. That's cool enough. And we've got one here from Davey. We need to make relationships with the clubs who improve players to sell. Tony, that's a good call.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, because a lot of the clubs were against our takeover. Yeah, and we've got to build a relationship up with these clubs. But at the end of the day, we are still not going to be mugged off regardless of whatever they want for a player. You know, we ain't going to go out there and splash 50 million on Harvey Barnes and 60 million on DCL. And, you know, they're not worth that much money at the end of the day. So, you know, and no disrespect to Harvey Barnes, but if we wanted to, we could have gone and got Moussa Diaby, you know, who's probably worth more than what Harvey Barnes is, to be fair. Because he struggled in a poor Leicester team last year, didn't he? So, but no, basically, yeah, we do have to build a relationship up with clubs, but that will come in time. But the one relationship we will see at the clubs is we're not going to be mugged off, and that is it.
Well said, 100%. And I hope other clubs take note of that as well, by the way. And yes, Ramsung, we do need strikers, absolutely 110%, absolutely. And now Dwight Gilt's gone. Yes, listen, we definitely need a striker in. And Danny Mills is full of shite. You're absolutely right, mate. We've got to talk about Danny in a bit. We should go after Dominic DCL. I'm sorry, we don't want to mark. No chance. Injury prone. 8 with 6 million quid. Definitely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You can go to Serie A and get a quality player up front. I'd rather take Juice Mertens, 35-year-old on the fee, on a way. The same guy who said we would be relegated. That's yeah. So big up to Roger, by the way, one of my mods. Anthony Gordon being linked to Everton, don't want to sell him. Do you know what? I'd take him, man. I'd take him. I don't understand why Newcastle, thanks, Paul. I don't understand why people want to do that, man. I mean, ridiculous, man. And let's go to Kevin. Yep. Go for this as well. Newcastle used to buy off Grelic more 10 years ago. That's from Davey, I believe so. Evening, lad. So you had a good day, Paul. Big up to you, my guy. Love you, man. Sure, love. Facebook user, you need to tell us your name, but yes, you're correct. Happy days to you as well, Ramsoon. How to Mr. Lynch as well. You're definitely gonna go on to Draxler in a bit. In fact, we're going to talk about Julian Draxler now. Now, Brad is here. And big up to you, mate.
Good evening. Are everyone all right?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm great.
Good.
Hey, champion. Now, just a few before we go on to Draxler. Just your point on Mr. Krafth or Swedish Krafth, signing a new deal. Yes.
Yeah, I've just literally seen that as well. I think he deserves it after the shift he's put in. And he's developed into a confident, solid player under Eddie. So, yeah, fair play to him. He deserves it.
Yeah, I think 1 year deal is about right for all parties, by the way. The 20-year-old Swedish international, I think this guy has improved a lot. And let's hope he sticks it that way. If he does that, then cool. Absolutely fine. And I'll go to his comments as well. And F is saying hi in the chat. Mark as well. Durham Zapata. would be good. I think he's fast. Yeah, he's a decent striker. Loving the bits. And still think Denny Watford would be a great signing. He knows where the goal is. Paul, absolutely right, mate. 110%. Thank you again, Paul. Now we're going to go on to Mr. Julian Draxler. Now he has been linked, according to reports last week for Get French Football News, around about the 17 to 20 million pound has been offered, and now it's been done yet. But he's 6'1", plays for PSG, and he's joined the club for about 4 and 5 years now. He doesn't get much game time. But when he's playing League 1, we're talking 5 appearances this season, by the way, yeah? And he gets injured a lot, I'm not going to lie. But, Tony, what is your take? I think the fans are split on this one.
Yeah, I think they are because, he's not a bad player, and he can't be a bad player overnight. Obviously, he needs to move from PSG to progress his career because you've got a World Cup coming up in November, and you'll probably want to be part of that German team. So he's going to have to move on anyway to get in that German squad if he wants to get in there. I would take him if one, we can keep him fit, and 2, we can get him back to the form that he was showing. I know somebody in the comments said he's on 59k a week. I thought he was on a lot more than that, to be fair. I thought he was on in the hundreds of thousands a week, if I was honest. But if he's on 59k a week, he falls well within the wage structure of the club anyway. But I'm sure there's better alternatives out there.
Agreed.
And I'll keep banging the drum about Emil Krafth. And apparently we're looking at him. So that's from what I've read, as well as Broja. But if there's a choice between Krafth and Broja, I'd have Krafth all day. Much better player than Broja. But that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. 131 appearances for the French club, 17 goals. And I think he stayed on for 4 seasons, something like that. Just check out his record now. No, he's been in the club this is going to be his 6th season with the French side, and 17 goals in 131 appearances. It doesn't float me boat, really, doesn't it? Let's be real. I mean, yes, he's not been playing games. I think he needs game time, in my opinion. I think if he does it, cool. And Jason, what's your thoughts on on Draxler?
Decent player. I know he's had a few injuries at the PSG, but I would take him, in my opinion. And if I'll take him as long as he doesn't get injured, because he's had PSG, he's had plenty of injuries. So
yeah, man. Yeah, fair enough. And I've got some spoke on to Brad. I don't think we'll get him, but why not have a go and try and sign him? And big up to Roger. Big up to Roy. Roy, how are you doing, mate? I hope you're okay. And thank you very much for subscribing as well the other day. I really appreciate that. Draxler is no for me. And the reason it's always 29, too expensive, past his best. Not a bad player, but we need fresh legs. Me personally, I think we need a younger Julian Draxler as well. I mean, he would not be my choice of a signing at the end of the day. No disrespect. I know Newcastle fans going to say, yeah, but he's an international sort of thing, yeah? Nearly 29 years old, by the way. Brad, would you take Mr. D?
I think there's definitely a player in there. I mean, he came on the scene was it Schalke when he was about 16 or 17 year old. So he's got a lot of experience from a young age, and I think he moved on from Schalke and I think Wolfsburg was it or Werder Bremen, I can't remember. But he didn't go too well there, and then I think obviously PSG took the chance on him. He's not a prolific goal scorer yet. He never has been throughout his career. But end of the day, he'd be someone who would get us in an attacking position. Where would he fit in? I'm not too sure because, like you say, but he is quite quick and he's versatile. So it's always one. It's one that I suppose would not be a bad signing. Would it be exactly what we need? Probably not. But if it's looking like a fair deal in terms of price and wages, then it's definitely worth a go because there's no doubt about it that he's a class player playing at a top club and he's obviously got that ability. if he joined the club, he might surprise everyone and show something towards the. He's not particularly at 28, coming at 29. He's not still got quite a bit left in his career. So with something to prove, come to the Premier League. If that's something that he's open to, we don't know. Personally, he's to play for us and do well. He's got to be up for the challenge and to work under Eddie and obviously put the effort in that the club demands. So if that seems appealing to him when he comes, then I'm sure it'd be a good addition to the squad.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I've got Julian Draxler's record, his style of player, and his weakness and strength and weakness. Hold on to the ball, very strong. Through balls, strong passing, key passes, finishing, take set pieces, very strong as well. His weakness is tackling. He doesn't tackle a lot. Discipline is not the best. He likes to do layoffs, likes to play short passes, and he doesn't dive in the tackles as well. He's got a market value of around 16 to 17 million pounds. And if it was me personally, I think those stats are really good. I'll go for a season-long loan, Tony. If anything, I'll go for a season-long loan for you to buy.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things I was going to say to you. Yeah, maybe a loan option with the option to buy and see how he gets on loan. But then you think, if you're going to pay 17 to 20 million for Draxler, you may as well go and get Dennis from Watford for 17 to 20 million pound, 24-year-old, a lot younger, and can play left wing, right wing, up front, and guarantee you goals, 10 goals and 9 assists last season. So if you've got that sort of money, you think Dennis would be the more viable option rather than Draxler. And to be honest, do we really need a marquee signing? My answer is no, we don't need a marquee signing. All we need is the right players in the right positions and make sure we got backup for Callum Wilson. And if we can bang the goals in and get goals from elsewhere in the team, like Bruno did, then we should have no problems at all. But at the moment, I don't even think we need a marquee signing. I know people are shouting for a marquee signing, but in my opinion, I don't think we need one. Even if we've got a team full of grafters, at the end of the day, if that team takes us to that, say, level and gets into Europe, then you strengthen from there and go to the next level players.
Yeah, absolutely right, mate. Absolutely right, Tony. I mean, look, you don't need world stars yet. We know that position to get world stars as well. But you never know, maybe in a couple of years' time, who knows? Got Danny B as well. Need to avoid has-beens and focus upon developable players. I wouldn't mind having a project youth. I mean, like a youth project at Newcastle United, in the years to come. I don't mind that at all whatsoever. I don't mind spending a lot of money on young players, and just go for it. You know what I mean, Mason? I'll pay that sort of money as well.
Yeah, just the thing is, we just don't want to turn like what Arsenal do. Like, when you come to the end of the season, don't bottle it. That's my problem. Just don't. If we do it, just don't bottle it. Just like what Arsenal did.
Exactly. Draxler's a big name a couple of years back, but not now. They're not as big now. Still not a bad signing if he could see it fit. And big up to Luca, by the way. Congratulations getting you on 2K subs, my guy. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely well done to Luca, by the way. And do check out his channel as well. And it's got some more flying through the roof as well. Anyone seen Neymar's dive for the decade? I haven't. I've seen this dive loads of times, mate. And I tell you what, someone's a joke. He's a class act, but he doesn't need to do that. Newcastle decided to make a move for Maxwell Cornet, convincing him to join might not be the easy was reported earlier in the summer. That the Magpies has asked Burnley about the forward. Well, according to reports, he wants to play European football. So Newcastle cannot offer him that as well. If he is to leave, he wants to play in the European football. And if that's the case, we are not that team. And Marcus backed up on as well. There's a young one, Jackson, Florian Gleach, 26, and he's on the free signing. He's on the free buy. I mean, apparently he's supposed to be really good. Austrian international, and he's an attacking midfielder, and he gets some important goals on Hoffenheim as well. And Dennis makes more sense. Hassan Dan, JJ, San Cristiano Ronaldo. he would be a modern day KK signing shirt sales alone with PF for him. Come on, Brad, that's not going to happen, mate.
No, no, definitely not.
I can't. I come on to him about Draxler. I heard Call is a bit flaky. Look, we don't need players with attitude like, so I'm not going to come, I'm not going to go there, blah blah blah. And Andrew, watching John, big up to you. Agree, Denny's for the price of Draxler's much better deal for Newcastle and it's cheaper as well. And for the wages as well, it comes up, by the way. And thank you so much, Miss Lily. So, Brad, Draxler. Did you talk about Draxler? Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you said about Schalke, didn't you? You used to play for Wolfsburg.
Yeah, but I think talking about I think that'll be a great option if we can get him on some sort of loan deal, and then the ball's in our court whether we want to go out and purchase him, depending on what we get. But you know, he's still been a respected international. I mean, I'm not too sure. Recently, he's probably been out the team, but certainly he was a consistent international player in a German team. So you know, he's been doing something right despite the back end of his PSG career, and obviously not going too well with the signings that they've made, and obviously PSG are making signings year upon year, so he's only going to fall down the pecking order, you would have thought. So it's all about a move. If he wants to move, a loan move might be best for both parties. But then again, with Dennis and Cornet, you don't know how they're feeling or towards. I mean, in an ideal position, if everyone wants to join us, then we sort of holding the cards and we can make the right choice in the coming weeks. So I hope that's the way it's going, because then we can sort of take our time to make the wise decision, because we don't want to just we're going to make mistakes in the transfer market, but we want to make as little as possible, really, because it's just going to hold our progress up.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. But you know, he's got a choice. If there's concrete interest on Julian Draxler, and if we agree, that's down to the player's going to come. Do you know what I mean? But if he does come, I'll back him. But me personally, I wouldn't pay the money. I'd just get him on a season-long loan and see how it goes from there. I've got one from Glown Lad. Big up to you, mate. If you don't get Europe this season, will Bruno stay next season? That is the only worry. Now, I want to talk quickly about Bruno, right? I mean, he sent out a tweet yesterday, saying about he wants to play Champions League, he wants to do it with Newcastle United, Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, to do that, the players need to step up from Nash's ambition and step up. And that I hope that we keep Bruno for years and years and years to come. But he says nice words, though. He says nice things to Newcastle United.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think when he first signed, when he was in talks with us, we probably sold a project to him and said, look, we're looking at a couple of years before we even hit Champions League football, maybe 2-3 years down the lane. But he's come on board with that. And he did say in his press conference when he first signed that one day he was told by the owners, because somebody asked him the question, what did the owners say to you? And he said, they told me one day we're going to win the Champions League. And he says, and that's why I'm here. I want to win the Champions League with this club. And then he's also said that last week he put in a little tweet that that if the Champions League doesn't come quickly, everybody's got to just be patient and wait for it, because we can't just get in there instantly. So he's saying all the right things. And even if it didn't get Europe, I don't think he'd be off, because I think he's here for the long term. He knows what the project's all about. He was told this before he signed, and that's the agreement he put in place. And I can't see Bruno wanting to leave. He loves the place too much, and he knows how much he's adored by the fans. And to be honest with you, I think he'll still be here. But if we get another couple of signings in, depending on what sort of start we have and how well we do by the time the World Cup comes up. And then just remember as well, after the World Cup, a lot of these teams who have got players at the World Cup, they're going to come back physically knackered. So after the new year to January, we're going to be a bit fresher because we've not had as many players in World Cup duty. So that's going to work in our favour. And other teams are going to be playing catch up. So what's to say we don't finish 7th place at least next season?
I'd take 7-4 dear, and that would keep Bruno happy 110%. What about you, Mason, on Bruno?
Bruno, I just with the comments, I think they're untrue, because with the first half season he's been here, he loves the place, he adores the place, and I think he wants to stay here for the rest of his career, because if we don't get Champions League, he won't want to leave, because it's just of the passion, just the passion of the club, and the people around him who he plays with as well.
If you don't get Champions League, he doesn't want to leave.
That's my opinion.
Wow, fair enough.
Just because we're not in the Champions League, well, obviously we weren't going to be in the Champions League to start with, but when he signed when we weren't even in the Champions League, we were in the bottom three, and look what he's done. And if he does it, well, if we're going to Europe, will he want to stay? Because he's always said he wants to go in the Champions League, but would he want to go in the Europa Conference or the Europa League?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely players to defend the highest competition ever is Champions League, in my opinion. But it's your opinion at the end of the day, and I respect that. But hopefully you get in the top 7 next season. Let's be honest about that. And Gary D, I've got a question, John. All these players that want to play Champions League football, do they get extra penny in their wage packet, or are on the same wages, mate? I'll leave that one to question to you, Brad. I'll be on to you.
No.
I'm not deflecting it, I'm deflecting it to you, but Champions League, right? It's every player's dream. Yeah, you got off as much as they want, but the top players, want to play Champions League football.
Yeah, I mean, the players that it just goes hand in hand. I suppose if a Champions League club are there and they want you, then you're obviously going to get an increase in wages. You would have thought where you were before, but there's not. There's not really a rule for that, is there? I suppose every negotiation, every player, and every club's completely different. So, it's just down to the individual, I think. But I think as long as the club keep moving forward the way we are, I can't see any player wanting to leave unless they're not getting as much. The only reason why people will leave is if they're not getting enough game time. But I think our key players will still want to be at the club as long as we're getting towards where we need to be. So Bruno's at the stage of his career where he'll want to stay with us for the next 3 or 4 seasons, and then he's hoping by the 3rd and 4th season winning some form of European football and moving up. And so if that's the case, I can't see him leaving unless a Bayern Munich or Madrid, Barcelona come in for him, and then it might be an ambition to. Obviously, that's an ambition for a lot of players to go to them clubs. So sometimes you can't stop that really. But yeah, they're the only outcomes I can see him wanting to leave really.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. And with me, I would love if you do lose Bruno, sort of thing, that if he goes to a big club, then I'll be absolutely gutted. But listen, at the end of the day, we got to respect the decision. But at the minute, he's our player. We love him to bits, and hopefully, he'll be here for many years to come. Got some more comments as well, and got one from Dan. Players who wants European football but don't want to earn it first can be off. That's a fair comment there. Fair comment. And even to you, Knights, and the panel, let's be honest, if you can get a full team with passion like Bruno would want the Premier League, I have to agree there. I have to agree, because Bruno loves the club. He's got the passion. Big up to him. If the club plays the Champions League, I'm sure there will be a bonus payment. I'm sure there is along the way. What do we know? Memphis Depay has been offered to Newcastle. Mark, that ain't going to happen, mate. If Athens going to turn down, he wants to play for a European, he wants to play for a club that qualifies for the Champions League, and we can't offer him that. The Clone Lad, big up to you. Paqueta, Cornet, Borgia will be great at the end of the window. If you don't get Paqueta this summer, I think the price will be out of range after the World Cup, especially if Brazil wins the World Cup as well. That is the thing. But Lyon are just playing coy. They always do. They're a difficult club to deal with. Trust us, they do. Even Arsenal had that as well, but he's still got the players as well. I was talking to Danny Mills. He's been an absolute dick today, right? I don't know if you listen to Talk Sport. I've listened to it twice, and I'm thinking this guy must be off as rock at him. right? He goes to pick up Steve Bruce, right? Most of them bigs up Steve Bruce, by the way. Let's be real, right? And now they want to see our club to fail. Now, I'm kind of getting sick of pundits, right? I'm not bigging up Newcastle United, right? Let's be real. And one thing I'm going to say, right? I hope we get something. I hope we win something, yeah? So we can shove their comms down their throats, yeah? So, Tony, I'm sure you listened today. What's your thoughts on it, mate, on Danny Mills?
Well, I haven't actually listened to it. As I say, I've been out most of today. So by the time I got back and then... but by what I've read between the lines on the comments, he's basically saying if Eddie Howe starts off bad, he's going to be under pressure. But any manager who starts off bad in the Premier League is going to be under pressure. Whether you're Eddie Howe or Pep Guardiola, you're going to be under pressure regardless. So, I've done those comments don't really wash on me. But, they seem to want us to feel it's because now we've got to realize people say we're the richest club, but we've only got the richest owners in the world. We're not the richest club, but we got the richest owners in the world. There's a difference. Yeah. And what they want to see is they want to see us fail. Last year, everybody wanted us down last year. And to an extent, I'm sure referees wanted us down because some of the VAR decisions that went against us were absolutely dreadful. Especially when Matt Ritchie got wiped out by Edison. That was the most blatant penalty ever, So they want us to fail. And because we stayed up, we've proved a lot of pundits wrong. So this year, if we get off to a great start, and bearing in mind, we got to play Liverpool and Man City early. So if we catch them cold, who knows what the results could be against them. But yeah, at the end of the day, if we go up there and we play well and we say finish 7th and say win the Carabao Cup, because I'd like to see us really have a good go in that competition. We got to the quarterfinals the last time. Unfortunately, we had the wrong manager in charge at the quarterfinal stage, and Bruce.
Yeah.
Because if we played the team better and played a better team, we might have beat Brentford and got the semis. But under Eddie Howe, we would have got the semis in that competition, no problem. And then maybe on the final, who knows? But, that's a competition that's there to be won. Because a lot of teams from the Premier League play their second strings or play their youth players in there as well. Because it's not a competition to take seriously, whereas the FA Cup, teams sort of take that a bit more seriously because they like that one better than the Carabao Cup. So even if we say finish 7th and won the Carabao Cup, that would run the comments back down their throats. And I would like to know what they would say after that, because it would be very interesting, because a lot of them would be eating humble pie, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Tony, 100%. I mean, these pundits need to keep their mouths shut. If you haven't got no better to say about Newcastle United, just don't bother. Because at the end of the day, right? I mean, well, we're a fantastic team. We've got fantastic support, right? But they're just so jealous, especially the top 6 clubs as well. Even the lesser clubs don't want to do business with us anyway. But
no,
there you go. Apart from Brewer and the fleece, that's 25 million quid for Chris Wood. That's a by the by. Mason, give us your thoughts on Danny Mills, man.
Like I say, I didn't hear it, but obviously with the words, it's just blatant jealousy, man. I just hate every single one from TalkSport, mainly John and like Bonlaho. Just pure jealousy with a lot of them, especially Danny Mills, because I don't know if he did play. I'm sure he played with Bruce at Man United, and but it's just blatant jealousy. On just blatant jealousy. They were only sticking up for Bruce, but they're not sticking up for like Eddie Howe. I just don't get it.
It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? It doesn't make sense at all, doesn't it? It really don't. But you know what it is? I'll just let him get on with it now, because I'm kind of sick of them, the press as well, etc., and just move along as well. I mean, Dave's made a good comment, by the way. Brentford were a boogie team when they knocked us out the cup a couple of years ago. But the problem is as well, right? I mean, Steve Bruce couldn't beat Brentford with Newcastle. Eddie Howe did, and that's the difference. And got one for Dan. How much do you reckon they will make sure we play someone like Man City in the first game of the Cups? I tell you what, it will not be surprising. Not be surprising, but as a Carabao Cup, not be surprised. But the effort, the Premier League do hate us. I just hope when we play Man City at home, Jack Grealish has plenty of stick for his comments about Miggy a while back. Grealish never earned the right to be in the Champions League. And before I comment to that, Brad, your take on Danny Mills, mate?
Like we said before, it's just a bit of a needless comment at the time, really, because I think there's a lot. Well, if you're talking about managers under pressure, I think Eddie's probably the lowest one on the list. There's you could name off plenty higher up. You're talking Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. Nobody's talking about that either. Leicester I don't think they've made a permanent signing yet, and the players are wanting now. They're under genuine. He's under genuine pressure if things don't go well. Frank Lampard's got some real. Got a real point to prove, hasn't he? The list goes on. So it's just probably talk sport again, just trying to get a bite out of the fans, really. Just for, it's just a uneducated comment, really, because everyone knows that Eddie's been backed. Eddie's been fully backed, and there's no huge expectations on him. As long as things keep progressing nicely and we do well this season. Obviously, if we're battling relegation, that's different. But I can't imagine that we're going to be. So, if we're just nice and comfortable around the top half of the table, and then give ourselves a push back end of the season, if things are going well, then I think that's all we can ask for. And nobody's going to be. Well, we'll still get a portion of the fans that are going to be like that, I would imagine. But end of the day, Eddie's going to be trusted to lead this team for the foreseeable future. His contract's still like another 2 or 3 years in his contract, so I fully expect him to be there for that time. At least for that time, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, fair comment, mate. I could agree with you there. Mark is saying about Bright Man Neil for Burnley. Look, I think he's a decent player, to be fair, but they probably asked for about 30 million for us as well. Good luck with that. Frank Lampard will be the first man to be sacked. I think he might even walk before he is sacked. And I'm going to do the Premier League round predictions tomorrow. Me, Macy, and another guest as well. So it's a Tuesday night. It should be the John Macy show. It is technically John Macy show, but we could do something different. And she's happy along with that as well. So, yeah. On to Danny Mills. I mean, for me, I just take the notice of him anyway. So just move him along, because I think he's been an absolute dick, if you ask us. But there you go. Elliot Anderson. Now, apparently, Annie sent us a tweet today on a DM from India, and he thinks that Nigel Pearson is after him. It's after this lad to take him to Bristol City. Tony, I don't even heard that, mate. I don't know if he's winding us up or anything like that. But we love Annie. We love him. I know he's a wind-up merchant, but he might be listening from India now. But he said that apparently Nigel Pearson is interested in Elliot Anderson.
Well, it is reported because there is a group of championship clubs after him. The likes of Luton Town, Millwall, Bristol City are thrown in there, and League One Bristol Rovers. Now, I would think Elliot Anderson, if he had the chance to go to Bristol City, I think he would turn that down, because he's played at Bristol Rovers. Mm-hmm. He was a hero there. And why is he going to cross the divide and go to the opposition? It's like saying we sending Elliot Anderson on loan to Sunderland. It's just unthinkable. Yeah. We wouldn't do that. So, I don't think he would cross the divide and go to Bristol City, because he was loved so much by the fans of Bristol Rovers. So I can't see him going to Bristol City. If he does go on loan to a championship club, it's going to be someone that's going to be top end, I think, like where Luton were in the playoffs last year, and you got Millwall who are up there as well. So it'll be somewhere like that. But if he is going on loan to a championship club, it's got to be a club that's got a good manager, that plays good football. You don't want to send them to a team where they play defensive all day and throw 10 men behind the ball. And, but we should be looking at keeping him on the bench anyway and use him next season and see how he goes. if by January he hasn't done a lot, then say, okay, go on loan till the end of the season from January. But I'm sure we'll have a look at him anyway. He'll probably play tomorrow night, I would imagine, in some sort of capacity. And then obviously there's 2 friendlies at the weekend as well. So we just got to see how it goes from there. But yeah, definitely I'll give him a chance at Newcastle, see how he goes.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I can't see him going to Bristol City anywhere because he's loved the Bristol Rovers. They love him that much. They call him Jordan Maradona. So there you go. Rachel, you take care, pet, and thanks, Amalasus. And according to Gordon, he's saying that he could be off to Sheffield United on loan. And Frank Lampard isn't a manager for Everton. We'll say that. I'll definitely keep Anderson with the squad. We can use 5 subs this season and should get game time, Mason.
For sure. But if somehow he's not in Eddie Howe's plans, I think for next season, if he could take a few players in, then he goes down the pecking order. I feel like he could go back to Bristol City. I mean, not City, yeah, because I'll probably get killed. Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
Just cause. Oh, sorry, John.
Go for it, Mason. Carry on.
Just because obviously Joey Barton's got the connections with Newcastle, and he'll probably want him back with maybe one more addition from Newcastle. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just don't think I don't think go to the City, but Gordon City could be off Sheffield United on loan, he thinks, and Sheffield Wednesday want him as well. I think Burnley would be a good club for him as well. And it is what it is. And yeah, I mean, Mark against the ASM could be tempted by a move away from Newcastle. Tottenham Chelsea this afternoon. I don't believe that for a second. I really don't. I would like him to back to Bristol Rovers for 6 months. That's dearly. And I think he needs to play in the Championship and not in League One, in my opinion. But me personally, I think he should stay at Newcastle. We've got 5 subs coming up next year. And Brad, you'll take it, Elliot Anderson, mate.
I personally, I would like him to stay because I think he's got a lot to bring to the team right now, and especially like you say with the 5 substitutes, there's no reason why he can't play a good amount of game time throughout the season, and he'll have his opportunities. And he seems like a bright player. He can hold on to the ball, and it'll just be end of the day. Obviously, if he's going to go on loan, it'd be a bit of a shame, not because obviously we'd like to see him part of the team, but if the loan's absolutely right and it's going to be a great opportunity for him, then I would accept that. But sometimes if you loan, when is a player ever ready? Because we've seen in the past, people have just came on the scene instantly and done it. So at what point can you keep nursing it and just go on a loan? We'll have another loan. It might never work out in the end. So, I was not saying thrown in the deep end because he's quite settled in the team now. Just give it a go. So that would be my opinion, anyways. Or if there's an ambitious side in the Championship that Eddie thinks it's going to be a good fit and he's going to fit into a certain slot and he's going to get regular first team football, then that would probably be a better option. But and then hopefully the year after we would see him in the team. But that's the important thing. I don't think the mistakes I've made in the past with young players and it hasn't worked out. We can't make the same mistakes because how many examples you didn't see Marcus Rashford going out on loans for years and years? Did you? He just came. He was just given a chance and look what happened. So there's always examples like that, and I think that you just got to give players a chance, and I think often it can go either way, obviously, but I think he's that kind of player where there's obviously something special about him because he wouldn't be getting talked about that much if there wasn't. So,
yeah. Agree, man. Agree. I mean, he's got to stay. And he got to. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if he's going to go to a Championship move, he's got to be for a top club. But for me, 5 subs, give him 15 minutes of go. I agree with Tanji Baloy in a bit. Okay, I agree. You could do last 6 months at Burnley rather keeping a step through the divisions. That's in Davy. Plenty of other prospects to send out on loan like Stevenson, Westendorf, and Ndueni. And yeah, that's good. Cool. A good championship loan will have Anderson ready for the first team when he returns. That's a fair shout, Foxy. That's a fair shout. With the 5 subs, Elliot Anderson might get 15 minutes, more games and gained experience. It's time for him and us to see what he can offer and how good he really could be. I have to agree there, mate. I have to agree. I got one from Mark as well. When Newcastle and Benfica tomorrow in the Cup, we'd love to win against Benfica. I would love to be there. We talked about last hour. I sent out a tweet yesterday, right, about pre-season friendlies next season. We should be playing in America. And when I got cancelled, Tony, I don't know. Hopefully next year. I hope there's 3 places I'd love to see Newcastle. America, Australia, or Japan. Maybe Canada as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this year it was a bit of a shock why it all got cancelled all of a sudden, and then we had to scratch around trying to arrange pre-season friendlies, which fair play at the club. They managed to pull that off and get quite a few friendlies lined up. But I mean, a few years ago, played in that Premier League Asia trophy when we played against Man City and Wolves. You know, something like that again would be good to go into. And at least we might have a better chance of winning as well, because we won't have Mr. Bruce there no more. So yeah. But yeah, I can see it going back. I can see them going back to America next season anyway, and definitely going to Japan, because then you can take your brand around the globe, because that's what you need. You need to take your football around the globe and produce a brand. But you can only produce a brand by going visiting these places and by making the football club successful as well. So if you finish in the top 7, so you're in a European spot, then your brand automatically goes up a bit, because they think, oh, hang on, this is a top 7 club in the Premier League. And then you go around but I'm sure Darren Eales will be all over that for the American next year anyway. That's for sure, because he'll bring a lot to the table anyway. But yeah, definitely I would say America and Japan, and maybe Malaysia and Thailand as well.
100%, because I've got 6 weeks holiday next year. So I say to my boss, I say, look, I don't want to book a week off before April. I don't want that, because I look, I want a long-term holiday. So I will keep that week and go to long-haul holiday, so I can watch Newcastle United wherever they play. And I tell you what, I'm gonna make a killing with the constant subs and subscribe. So I go there, man. That would be amazing.
Should have put the Euro Millions on last week, John. You might have 195 million, and you wouldn't have to worry about work.
Exactly. I don't know I'll be in this country anyway. I'll probably be elsewhere, but there you go. And Mason, your take on where would you see Newcastle playing pre-season friendlies, say, next year?
For me, I would happily we've done New Zealand before, but I would happily do Australia. Just because obviously you've seen Villa. I'm not saying you have a team, but there's been a few. But like if we should do like what they've done, go over to Australia, play each other, and show the Australian fans like what they can play like.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout, mate. That's a very good shout. I mean, you have to have a visa, you have to have everything as well. So it's not an easy place to go to, but I should do it. And Brad, your choice. Where would you like to see Newcastle season next year?
I think America's seem to be the big one, really. Or that seems to be the place to be. So, but then again, it's about building the club and building our profile, and then we make relationships with some of these other clubs in America, and we get ourselves over there. Make it. It's a big thing just to get exposure in it, and you get people involved, and it's just like raising that profile of the club to get there. And then when these sort of trips we'll be doing every season from there on, really. So is that one? No, generally it's Australia, America, and that sort of thing. So, and then we team up with there'll be 2 or 3 other clubs around at the same time as well. So it's getting them relationships with the other clubs as well, building it in, and everyone sort of they're the kind of events you want to be in, for the big clubs, and everyone's involved. So I want to be part of that. Let's say the game the other night, like Chelsea were playing Arsenal over there and that sort of thing. You know, they're the kind of games, the fixtures that we'll be playing Chelsea's and Man City's and that in a few years' time. So we'll just, but yeah, like you say, like you mentioned with the CEO, Darren Hill's coming in and that sort of thing. They're items that'll be on the top of his agenda, won't they? So we'll get there, and it'll be more exciting than the pre-seasons we've been used to recently, for sure. So yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think, guys, that's a fantastic shout, sort of thing of destinations for the pre-season for next year. Let's be real. I think that's bloody brilliant. For me, I would go to America. Well, Florida, my first choice. Florida all day long. Definitely Japan, Thailand, Bangkok as well, Far East as well. I would love to do that as well. And I'd take it all day long. So anywhere of those, that'd be brilliant. But first choice, I'll definitely do America, Florida. I'll do it for 2-3 weeks as well. 50 minutes cameos won't help develop Anderson. Give him the first round League Cup game, and if he doesn't stand, it's definitely loan out. He has to put in a performance where it's impossible not to keep. A game here and there in League Cup isn't much either, especially if you play lower league oppositions in 50-20 minute. Most games is perfect for him against the Premier League players. And David said, John, can you remember the Ibrox International Trophy 1994 we beat Man U on penalties? Yes, I can. Very, very well. I can remember also Cantona went for the Panenka and he missed that penalty, tried to Panenka, and he just totally messed it up, by the way. Bless him. Has to be America, as there's a massive financial marketing opportunity, especially considering America loves movies and we have a movie as well. Totally agree. And Marcus doing this rumors as well. We spoke about that, by the way. Newcastle wants Draxler as well. And I'm sure Lucas got plenty to say on that as well about Draxler. He lost his European football as well. So we go for another 10 more minutes as well. We've gone through most things, gone through Emil Krafth. I believe as well that West Brom is also after Elliot Anderson as well. Please, no, every boost, Tony.
Oh, without a doubt. And no, keep away from Steve Bruce. I mean, Steve Bruce gave him that game time against Arsenal, but that wasn't it. We were a poor team back then. So, no, I would say, and I don't think our owners would let him go there anyway, especially knowing that Steve Bruce is manager there. And can I just go back to one point when people are saying we can't just keep loaning him out because it's not going to do his confidence any good, which is true. You look at Man City, look at players they had on the bench last season, Cole Palmer, Liam Delap. They didn't go on loan. They were kept in the squad. And they were in the match day squad, every match day squad. And then they would be brought on. And I mean, you think them young players are coming on 20 minutes or 25 minutes here with Man City. And that's how Phil Foden started off, getting 25 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Not going out on loan everywhere. And look at the player Phil Foden is. And look when they brought Liam Delap on against Norwich that time. He totally ran through their defence and got bundled over for a penalty. But, I don't think loaning players out is the answer. I think players like Elliot Anderson, if he's got such a good talent, keep him at Newcastle. Even if you think, well, bring him on with, say, 25 minutes to go or half an hour to go, see how he goes in half an hour and just give him that chance. Go down the road that Man City do. They don't just get rid of all our young players. I mean, I know Southampton wants Liam Delap. There's no way they're selling Liam Delap. Not even at 16 million. And I think even if they went back with 30 million, I think Man City would tell them where to go.
Yeah, I agree, because Pep knows a good play when he sees it, man. And he's not going to make any mistakes. He's quite happy to sell top players like Sterling and Zinchenko to the nearest rivals. He'll happy to do that when he knows they can get the best out of him as well. But hey, at the end of the day, right, I mean, he wants to keep his best players. That's exactly what he's doing. So you're right there, Tony, what you said about Elliot Anderson as well, should be getting clean. So you're right. I totally agree with him, my guy. And fair play to Rodrigo Villa yesterday. Won a penalty, scored the second goal for Universitario. Interested to see his progress bulked up as well. Is it on loan? Is he on a permanent deal?
Loan, I think.
Yeah, I think if he comes back bulked up as well, according to Foxy, then he deserves a second chance as well. Anyway, just give him some cup games and see how he does from there. Exactly when the game was uncomfortable, we were 2 up, bringing in Anderson for the last 20. Let him get used to the crowd as well. That's a fair shout. I'll put him like probably 3-0 up and then do it then. I have Draxler, but would play second fiddle to Wilson. He's a number 10. He's a winger. Man City wants to leave on loan. That's some talk. That's not going to happen anytime soon. No chance at all. So, guys, going to wrap up there because it's going to be an early one tonight. And, but thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate that. And, guys, I'll ask the question again. Did you enjoy coming in?
Yep, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, John.
Always a pleasure, yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. And if you'd like to go on Twitter as well, do follow Tony31. Also follow Mason. What do you call him? Mason
Ford.
Yeah, Mason Ford. And also on Facebook, I think. And Brad. It's Brad on BP_NUFC as well. And you can follow us on John Sinclair TV, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram. This is John Sinclair 50, lower letters, and John_NUFC42. Got some more comments to follow. Go, great show. Thanks, Davey. Thanks, Roger, one of my mods, and Rachel as well. Thanks for being the mods as well. Thanks, cool lad. Thank you very much for Dan. I appreciate your help. And right, you guys, I would not have a channel. And if you like the video, like we see, do smash the like button. That's all I can say. I can't say any more than that. Please hit the subscribe button as well if you're new, you like what you see. And if you like to super chat, then you can always do through the thanks options or after the show. And if you'd like to become a member, then just click on the link and then it'll come as well. And that'd be 99p if you become a member. And I should do a competition really, really soon. And Tony hasn't got a YouTube channel, I'm afraid. Davey has got a YouTube channel. And unfortunately, thumbs up to Rex here. And also to play 3 minutes of City last season. We want that for Anderson. Surely not. Well, thanks so much anyway, guys. I'm going to review you guys backstage. And like I said, thanks for watching. I should do the Premier League prediction show at tomorrow night with Macy. And also one more as well. I'll try to get Grace. Grace going to let us know she can make for that one as well. But thanks for watching, guys. And until then, have a fantastic evening. It's a bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.